Huffington Post environmental editor John Vital states that scientists predict 150 to 200 species of plant, insect, bird, and mammal go extinct every 24 hours. This is nearly 1,000 times the natural rate that animals should be going extinct. And many biologists believe that this is greater than anything the world has seen since the dinosaurs 65 million years ago. Humanity puts a lot of time and money into attempting to undo the damage that we have done to the environment. But if we don't get a bit more practical about how we go about this, we could be the ones ending up on the endangered species list. Growing up in elementary school, I was an avid subscriber to the magazine publication Dog Fancy. Now, any person that is subscribed to anything related to animals will get tons of letters from organizations asking for donations. And you bet that I donated my $5 allowance to the organizations that featured panda bears, because oh my gosh, they're adorable. Fast forward to high school, I have a teacher, Mr. LaRosa. I had Mr. LaRosa 3 years in a row. I had him for biology, AP biology, and marine biology. And he made sure that everyone that got out of that class knew that panda bear conservation was useless. Focusing on saving animals based off of cuteness or likability isn't helping the environment, but there is a way to save animals that can make an impact. Today, I will go into detail on why panda bear conservation is not the most useful way to go about helping our planet. I will then show you effective ways that we can fix the mass extinction problem that is going on. Lastly, I'll look to a future where we take the time to prioritize different species that can actually benefit us. Prioritizing on saving mascots, for example, the panda bear, is a fruitless attempt to save the environment. Organizations that choose singular animals to be the face of their organization is kind of like the trickle-down economics of conservation. If you look to organizations that prioritize one animal over the rest, you're not benefiting the rest of the animals. Same with trickle-down economics. If you give tax cuts to the rich, you're really not giving any money to the middle class or the lower class. It doesn't work like that. Animals are going extinct daily, but humans struggle to focus on fixing the problem and instead look to animals which are the most alluring when deciding which to save. In this case, the giant panda. Pandas don't need immediate assistance. They aren't even extinct. Not only that, but they're not cost efficient. We have spent millions, if not billions of dollars trying to rebuild a panda bear population. A population that doesn't really want to grow. Pandas are very selective about who they decide to mate with. And while I am a big supporter of people being particular about who they decide to mate with, I really don't think that a population of 1,800 animals should be this picky. Not that they really have a choice, it's instinct. Humans have gone to very weird lengths to get panda bears to reproduce, to the point of desperation, to where they show panda porn. It's like totally a thing. They play it for the male panda and hope that somehow it'll get something going. Believe it or not, it doesn't. Who would have thought? Despite trying to rebuild the population since 1985, we have only grown to 1,800. We've grown 700. We have had 700 pandas born in the past 30, 40 years, which is kind of ridiculous, despite all of the money that we've put into it. It may seem like no harm can come from putting money into animals, because any animal's worth saving, right? Not if you're trying to save the entire world. Not if you're trying to save the environment. If we truly intend to minimize animal extinction, we need to start focusing on what actions make the most impact. The University of York's Murray Road, an environmental economist, took a survey of 583 conservation scientists. 60% agreed that we needed to decide what species to save and what species to abandon if we are going to get through this together. There are some ways to achieve this. One is look to animals that need immediate help. For example, the Javan rhino, which there's only 100 left in the world. Second would be look to animals that are vital to their ecosystem. One big one of these would be the mangrove forests. Mangroves are trees that grow along the coast that that protect animals from waves crashing against it. It protects thousands of species, and if we put time into saving the mangroves, we save all of the species that go under that. Lastly is the most cost efficient. Goodis.org stated in 2015 that a new study from an international group of scientists that pored over species and sites estimated that an entire species can be saved by spending $1.3 million per species per year. The authors of the study created a conservation index that prioritized the species with the highest potential to be saved, quantifying the possibility of successfully conserving a species, the annual amount globally to achieve this, to save these 841 species off of the red list, would be $1.3 billion, which might sound like a lot, but first of all, $1.3 million globally, and they say that this is about as much that Michigan will spend on roads this year, just repairing roads. So, if we take the time, by focusing on animals based off of likability and furriness and popularity, species who are more vital to the planet's future and who are way easier to save are dying with little media attention. To give one example, according to the WFF, an organization that ironically focuses primarily on panda bear conservation, says that we will run out of fish to eat, like edible fish, by 2048. The International Conservation of Nature declared that 21% of all fish species are facing extinction. A mass extinction such as this could throw off our world's whole ecosystem. However, significantly less people are donating to save the salmon than are donating to save the panda. The panda bear does not fit into any of the three categories for conservation, and if we continue to focus on saving animals based on likability, we will begin to lose animals essential to the planet's existence. Unfortunately, the negative effects of humanity has had on the environment are irreversible, but if we take the proper steps, we can lessen the damage. According to the Center for Biological Diversity, 30 to 50% of all species will have gone extinct by 2050, and humanity is absolutely to blame. Humans are not creating a sustainable world, and not for us and not for the creatures that coexist alongside us. With full ecosystems imploding due to deforestation, global warming, overfishing, and hunting, it's hard to imagine a bright future for the animals of our planet. But if we take the time to pick and choose what animals we need to save, we can have a better future for us. We can have a better future for those animals. If humanity starts saving species with more focus on practicality, we may just make it to the end of the century without messing up our ecosystem entirely. The panda is cute, and I relate to its desire to do nothing but eat all day. 100% on board with that. But saving their population should never be a priority when some other species, far more beneficial to our environment, are suffering at the hands of those donations. If we don't take the time to reprioritize how we save animals, we might see a massive extinction in our lifetime. College students don't really make a lot of money, and some of us are probably trying to set up GoFundMe pages to buy our books for next semester. Totally understand if donating isn't your thing, but there are things that you can do in Washington to help the local local endangered animals. We have tons of endangered animals in the area. Gray wolves, species of whales, sea turtles, grizzly bears, all in our home, going extinct as we speak. So one big thing that you can do is just pick up trash. We're right next to an ocean. If you see trash on the ground, it's probably going out to the ocean. And if you have time, the Puget Soundkeeper is an organization that really focuses on cleaning up our ocean and saving the animals that are going extinct there. Once a month, more than once a month, but once a month always, they have different trips out to the ocean where you can help collect and save all of the trash that has been accumulated. So if you really want to make an impact, I would highly recommend donating your time to that organization in particular. Puget Soundkeeper. Please take your time to do that. Saving the planet is important, and it's easy to mess up, so please make sure that your efforts are making an impact. Thank you so much. Thanks.